Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now this is my 1000 horsepower 1993 MK4 Supra. Now it doesn't look like it, but there's a lot of work to get to this point. I'm going to be showing you guys how to respray the bay, how to strip the car back to bare metal, how to repair existing damage. We're going to be putting the 1000 horsepower engine back in and also doing a gearbox conversion and a lot of other things. So if you want to learn some stuff, learn how to build a cool car, watch the rest of the video and let's get into it. Now originally this car was a 6-speed manual with an NA engine, but we're going to be changing that to a new combination and I'll run you guys through what we're going to do. Now this here is the engine that I built for my Supra. It's a 2JZ GTE, it's fully forged, the head is built, everything's done on this motor. It's got a G42 1200 turbo and it's set up for about 1200 horsepower at the crank or 1000 at the wheels roughly. Haven't really finished the car, so I wasn't sure what it's going to make. This was mated to a Tremec TR6060 or a T56 Magnum 6-speed manual. But like I said, changing direction, so I'll run you through what we're going to do now. So in terms of the car itself, I don't really plan to change anything. The chassis, like the body, is very clean. There's no rust, there's no damage. So what I'm going to do is clean everything up, respray it. I'm not a big fan of this silver, so we'll do a full glass out respray and I'll show you guys how to do that. And in terms of the power, so obviously the standard engine in this is a 2JZ. I would like to keep it that way, so that motor will get freshened up and put back in, even though it was just built. But not a big fan of the manual gearboxes. So the purpose of this car, just street car, a little bit of roll racing, maybe some drag racing. So I'll get to the gearbox bit in a minute, but first things first, we need to clean up this crusty old engine bay. So like I said, it's a factory engine bay. There's a little bit of surface rust starting to form. Very, very dirty. It's obviously not a color that I really like. And we're going to be deleting a lot of things. So this car originally had an ABS pump, all these extra ABS lines. It was originally a manual. So there's just lots of things that we need to get rid of. So best thing to do is just clean it all up. We'll sand it back and then we'll paint it. So I'm not going to be doing a full shave. So if you're really meticulous about your engine bay, you can actually shave all of these holes, weld them up. But I actually prefer the look of a factory engine bay with all the factory holes. There's places to mount things if we want to put like boost controllers or an airbox. We want to mount our intercooler piping. So generally I like to keep my engine bays looking factory. So I'll show you guys how to sand this, prep it for paint and paint it. Okay, so prepping an engine bay for paint is super simple. All you need to do is step one, strip everything. So take as much as you can out of the engine bay. If you're not planning on doing a full color change, you can get away with leaving a few things in there. Like you can probably leave your aircon system and your intercooler and stuff connected, especially if there's cowls and stuff going over. But for me, I'm going to be changing the color completely. So I've stripped everything out of the engine bay. AC system's gone, radiator's gone, obviously the engine's out, all my piping, all the cover plates, the rear firewall panel, the windshield cowl, everything is off. So just take everything off. That's different for every car, so I can't show you exactly how to do that. But in the case of the Supra, everything's just held on with push clips and a bit of 10 mils. So everything's off, fuel lines are off, coolant lines are off. And then first thing I like to do is just clean everything. So in my shed here, I obviously can't get the pressure washer out and pressure wash this. So what I'm gonna do is I'll be using this bucket. Now what's in this bucket? Tap water, and then I've got red Scotch-Brite, scuff pads, and then in this water, I've mixed in some scuff paste. So the stuff I'm using is called Scuff Stuff, but there's plenty of different ones. In your local zone, you might have a different brand, but yeah, just some red Scotch-Brite and some scuff paste. Now what this is gonna do is it's gonna clean everything down, get rid of any dirt and grime, but it's also going to act as a degreaser, so any oils and things like that will come off. And the last thing it's gonna do is it's actually gonna scuff the surface. So if you were just doing a quick and dirty job, you could actually just do this step, clean it down and paint it. But in my case, we're also going to sand it after. But this will help you get in all those tight areas where sandpaper can't get to. Now, when you're using the scuff paste, it's not just like you don't just wipe it. You sort of need to, as if you're sanding it. So sort of go back and forth and just get it all scuffed up. And yeah, just make your way around the whole engine bay. Okay, so now we've scuffed up the whole engine bay, all we're gonna do is take a rag and just wipe it down. So as you wipe it down, you'll start to see that it looks like the surface is slightly matte. You'll actually see like a semi-gloss finish, and that means you've scuffed that part of the bay. Now, if you've missed anything, I wouldn't stress too much. because we are going to go ahead and sand it now. If you're not going crazy, it's not a show car and it's just something that you're just doing a quick tidy up on, you can actually stop here and just spend a bit more time on the scuffing stage. Then you just clean it up, wax and grease everything, make it really clean, mask everything up, and you can spray it from here. However, this is a car that I don't really plan to sell, and I would like to go a little bit nicer on it. So what we're going to do now is sand it. Now, for the areas that are in good condition, you can just take some 600 grit sandpaper and just sand away. However, for the areas that are in not amazing condition, if there's surface rust or you've gone down to bare metal, I generally will start a bit rougher, sand it, you know, maybe with 240 grit or even rougher until that surface rust is gone. And from there, just work your way up to about 600 grit. Put some direct to metal primer on there, let it dry, and then you can proceed. Okay, so this is our engine bay all pretty much ready for sanding. Now, if you look over here, this area is black. The reason that's black is there was some little bit of surface rust under the battery tray. So I just took a wire wheel, fixed that up, and then I sprayed this Concept Paints, rust converter, and primer. So this will convert the rust, make sure it stops spreading, and it'll prime it ready for paint. You don't even have to sand this, you can actually paint straight over it, but I have given it a quick scuff with some red Scotch Brite. Okay, so the Supra's engine bay is all scuffed and ready for paint. Now you might notice that the window is also out. So I've actually had one of my glass guys come and remove all of the glass. So I've got the rear hatch out, got the quarter windows out, and I've got the windscreen out. However, the engine bay is ready, but I've now opened another can of worms because now that this is all ready for paint, I noticed around the windscreen that there was a lot of rust. It's nothing insane, it's all definitely repairable, but as I started sort of taking a wire wheel to the rest of the car just to see what was underneath, I found that there's around 5 mil of body filler just in this area. So I'm going to be stripping that back and we'll see what secrets are underneath there. And then this was all good. And then I found some more body filler in this corner of the car. So I'm going to take those back, you know, strip the paint off, see how far the body filler goes, and then we'll assess how we're going to fix it. Look, I definitely bought this car as sort of like a clean running car when I got it, but it's been 5 or 6 years since I bought the car, so yeah, I wouldn't say that I got scammed or it was a bad buy. Obviously the seller didn't know. This was probably done 20 years ago in Japan, so yeah, no hard feelings there. So getting the seats out is super simple. There's just 4 bolts, 1 bolt on each corner, and the seats can come out. I've actually got some aftermarket Recaros in here, so the bolts aren't even tight. And then the dash is not the easiest thing to get out. Basically, I just follow the Toyota manual. Since we're going to be rewiring the whole car, having the dash out is going to make life super easy. So the dash can come out, and I'll probably take the doors off as well. My dash is a little bit floppy. Some of the supports are broken, so. All right, taking note of what we're unplugging so that we can rewire it when we put the PDM in. All right, so we'll get the doors off, but that's pretty much where it's going to stop for now for the interior. There's a lot of wiring in here that will need to get stripped out, but I'll get Ryan, the wiring guy, to come have a look at it first, see what he wants to look at, and then we'll pull it all out. Okay, so we found a bunch of body filler, Bondo bog, whatever you want to call it, in this area of the car. It stops here and it's thick here. So I'm guessing there's some sort of dent here or some damage was repaired in not an amazing way, and there's probably a lot of filler here. So what I'm going to do is take it all out. We're going to fix it properly. On that side, there was body filler, and then on this quarter panel, I just took the wire wheel to a few spots and I found some more body filler. It's not too thick, like it's just a few mil everywhere. So what we're going to do is, I don't have any correct way of applying this, so we're just going to use a random brush here. And we're just going to put some paint stripper on the surface. Not going crazy with it because I'm not actually trying to strip the paint here. All I'm trying to do is get a reference for where the damage is, where it isn't, and then, you know, we can work towards it. Okay, so I've started stripping the quarter panel, and straight away I can see that the repair is here. So all I'm going to do is strip all this back, flap disc it or wire wheel it, and take it all off, and then we'll start from scratch. Then the little bits of rust, we're actually going to do a special process which will be in the next video, and we're going to strip the entire car back and it'll take out all the rust as well. And then I ended up taking all the filler out of this side, and I can actually see a previous repair here, so I'll do my best to fix that and get it all straight. Now the Supra is looking a lot more bare, and that's going to be it for this video, but in the next video we're going to be stripping all the paint off the car. Got a really cool method for that I'll show you, and I'll also run you guys through this lovely bit of kit we have from Domiworks Engineering to make this a lovely 8-speed box to our 2JZ. But yeah, thank you for watching my video. Thanks for coming along the process with me and discovering some super interesting and quite unfortunate things about my Supra. But I'm super keen to build this on the channel, and I really hope I can show you guys something along the way. So if you like watching sort of build content, get subscribed, flick a like, flick me a comment if you want to see anything in particular, and I'll do my best to show you how to do it.